Japan International Consultants for Transportation, Japan. And we have 3 contracts packages. BC1 contract, Bosporus Crossing section, TGNJB, Taisei, Japan, and Gammon Roll, Turkey. And the CR2 contract is a rolling stock contract, Hyundai Rotem, Korea. And the CR3 contract, commuter railway section, OSJB, Obrascon, Siemens, Spain. Our contract period from December 2001 up to present. Our contract may be finished by end of 2021. 20 years project. BC1 contract, Bosporus Crossing section. Design built under FIDIC Silver. Contract period from August 2004 up to October 2016.
First, I'll go through how infrastructure shaped Hong Kong. And then I'm from AECOM. I'll share our experience on how to deliver a better communities by involving in different projects. I think it's very important that we look forward. We are not just complacent about what we are. So I would like to share some of my ideas on how we can do better in future. In the recent report issued by Institute of Management Development, IMD, the competitiveness of Hong Kong is number 2, and a lot of it is due to our infrastructures. But actually, Hong Kong is a very compacted city.
Think of agriculture. I mean, we never knew how to plant a tree without soil, but now it's all water-based, aquaponic. I mean, we need more food, more population. We changed the genes and recreated a creature. I can't say it's a bull anymore. We created a meatball by changing the genes. Medicine. You think of a disease today, the next day, you'll be able to get the drug. But Sri Lanka, the countries like Sri Lanka, some developing countries, we are much more advanced than that. We are much more fortunate because sometimes we get the drug, then they will find the disease is not there. Next plane, you will get the disease as well. Okay, this is what I was found when I was thinking of this particular topic. Again, in the internet, I'm not going to believe this. It says the Sri Lankan history goes back to 700,000 BC. Don't worry, I'm not going to believe this. And there's another point in the same internet article, and it says Inhaler or the Sri Lankan civilization is the oldest civilization in the world.
Firstly, the characteristics of infrastructure construction and consulting work. Secondly, taking Hangzhou Bay Bridge as an example of consulting experience. Thirdly, the achievements and thinking of Hangzhou Bay Bridge. And finally, the challenges of future consulting work. First of all, the infrastructure is an engineering facility designed to increase social productivity and improve the living standard of people, including a wide variety of projects. The most important thing is how to evaluate the success or failure of a large infrastructure. An objective evaluation is not only depend on the project itself.
When infrastructure development, what is going on? Right, maybe some photograph from the Sri Lankan practices. Just say if you want to build a factory, we have the either already built building and so forth, or we might select the jungle where we want to bring the factory. But whatever it is, in many cases we have to cut down the trees and clear the jungle in order to do that. So this is not green. So we need a technology for that. We have to do the factory. Once we do the factory, what happens? The trees, birds, animals who are living, they can't live anymore, right? so that because of the environment pollution or damage or whatever. We need to have a change for this one. I'll say the transformation of the built environment using the green technology, where the present day infrastructure must be changed to greener practices.
ASPAC YPF was initiated in 2008, and we are aiming to promote activities of young professionals. We set 3 pillars of activities. Those are research and networking and education. Currently, we are 50 members from 11 countries, and we are willing to be a community-based organization. In Japan, there are 2 consulting associations. One is ECFA, that is Engineering and Consulting Firms Association. And the other one is JCCA, Japan Civil Engineering Consultant Association. Because of differences of their major market, namely ECFA is for overseas project, and JICA is consulting firms for domestic project.
This is first time to visiting Sri Lanka, and I feel very comfortable here as like my hometown. The ASPAC Young Professional Forum is the group of young professionals of the FIDIC, proposed by FIDIC YPFSC and supported by FIDIC and ASPAC. It was formed with the intention of providing young professionals with the opportunities to participate in ASPAC and to develop the consulting engineering industry. It was run by a committee of ASPAC Young Professional Volunteers. Key activities were identified as research, education, and networking. The purpose of YP Award is to acknowledge and promote the remarkable achievements of YPs to the consultancy engineering industry and encourage effective participation of YPs in ASPAC and ASPAC YPF.
No doubt that the world has been always developing, maybe not as regularly as the FIFA World Cup. The 3 pillars of the world development are material, energy, and information. The rapid development of information technology is changing the world at an incredible speed by fusing materials, energy with information. That is why ABC is very, very important. Do you know ABC? A is AI, B is big data, C is cloud computing.
In Bandara, some areas, people get nearly 20 to 30 liters per person per day. The interesting thing is these people rely on agriculture, so even they do not have enough water for their employment too. Therefore, the problems are clear. People seek solutions from the technological context, and that's where we are coming at. We are searching solutions from the nature-based solutions to solve these issues. That's what the theme of World Water Day this year. So in dry season, when the groundwater get lower, people used to walk into the well and collect water. The small rooms they use for their medication, and also it supports to control their body temperature, and also still it's a sustainable mean rather than pumping out water from the ground, which can be effective for the neighboring countries too.
Today we have come to a point that not just us humans, but also all the species are in the verge of extinction. Also, population has overtaken some cities. We see that some cities are fogged with poisonous gases where it is even breathing can kill you. How would that feel? The struggle for a sustainable future on this planet will be won or lost within our cities. So the urban decision development actions we take today will determine if we will be locked in cities with fossil fuel dependent and inefficient infrastructure, or if we'll be we enable the people to live in cities attractively, healthily and sustainably. By today, some cities have already started making their pledge towards sustainable and greener futures.
First, as we have seen also for the previous speakers, that we are moving now really from horizontal to vertical building. Okay, because we have to really tackle the population growth, therefore we cannot anymore be flat, we have to go vertical. And for that, we need new technology. But more important is that if we look around us, to build those cities, we need really a huge amount of construction materials. Therefore, if I ask you what is next to water, the most, let's say, used material in the world today is concrete. Okay, if you look around you, if you go out, you look school where your kids go, the road you are driving, the bridges, the school, the hospital. Concrete is a very noble material because it helps us to really take from the past and give it back to the future. Therefore, it's a really important material that can be very sustainable if the technology content is the right one.
We have a problem, and that's because we keep applying the wrong contract to the works that we are doing. And I talked about dispute avoidance yesterday, and one of the first steps you do to avoid disputes is to make sure the contract is right. And I have seen mutilated contracts, especially in this part of the world. We tend to think what has evolved since 1957 can be changed in half an hour. I even call some of the contracts of servitude. The contractor is a servant. So I thought that's a good time at this gathering here. We have quite a lot of delegates from Asia that I discuss some of these issues. I've seen here some of the problems seen in application in contract forms. I've seen in Sri Lanka where employer design contract, which is a red book, construction contract applied to design build contracts.
First, innovative. This is the first time for ASPAC conference organized the YP Open Forum. The ideas from young professional speakers will illustrate our future infrastructure, natural, green, sustained, and well-connected. Second, comprehensive. I mentioned in my opening address, infrastructure connectivity relates to diverse elements, hard part and soft part. Our speakers shared with us their experience and knowledge on the comprehensive perspectives. Third, productive. Just as Kamal explained, we decided to select Colombo as the venue for 2018 conference very late, just in last October in Jakarta conference. Within such a short period, with very productive preparation works, a well-organized and successful conference has been achieved here.
Thank you. Then
without joint